Township Board of Trustees is called to order. I'll ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Thank you. Trustee Wade?
Here.
Trustee Matuzak?
Here.
Trustee Kress?
Present.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Here.
Trustee King, sorry.
Present.
Treasurer Aiello?
Present.
Clerk Meltzer here.
Okay, and looks like we have 8 items on the board meeting agenda, including item number 8 as a closed session, which we will be coming out of with a recommendation. Is that correct, Ms. McGraw?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. We need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Okay, moved by Treasurer Aiello, supported by Trustee King. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 1, the consent agenda with a total of, looks like 6 items.
I move adoption of the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on consent agenda items?
Just wanted to let you know I did put on at each desk the documentation showing that the grant that I had, the conference that I had applied for, I got a grant to pay for both of them, actually. So one's for Chicago, one for DC. So grants to pay for both. I love finding those grants, free money.
Okay. Sounds good, Ms. Meltzer. Thank you. Any further discussion on the agenda item? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Okay, Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 2, a proclamation recognizing May 14th as Apraxia Awareness Day. This is something that was brought to my attention by one of our constituents. I'll ask Ms. Meltzer to read the proclamation, and then we'll refer to Jacqueline in the audience tonight.
Whereas May 14th, 2026 marks Apraxia Awareness Day, during which awareness will be raised throughout Clinton Township, Michigan, about childhood apraxia of speech, or CAS, a neurological speech disorder that affects approximately 1 in 1,000 children, with about 1/3 having a genetic causal basis. Whereas childhood apraxia of speech causes children to have significant difficulty learning to speak and is among the most severe speech sound disorders in children. Whereas while the act of learning to speak comes effortlessly to most children, those with apraxia require early, appropriate, and intensive speech therapy, often for many years, in order to develop functional speech. And without appropriate speech therapy intervention, children with apraxia may experience diminished communication skills and are placed at increased risk for secondary impacts in reading, writing, spelling, and other school-related skills. And whereas these primary and secondary impacts can affect future independence, educational outcomes, and employment opportunities if not addressed through appropriate services and support. And whereas families in Clinton Township, including parents and children living in our community, are directly affected by childhood apraxia of speech and work every day to overcome the challenges associated with this disorder. And whereas organizations such as Apraxia Kids provide critical support, resources, and education to children with childhood apraxia of speech and their families, including many here in Clinton Township. And whereas increasing public awareness of childhood apraxia of speech is essential for families of children with this neurological disorder, as well as the professionals who support them, in order to help children receive the services they need to communicate effectively. And whereas we recognize and commend the children with childhood apraxia of speech, along with their families, for their strength, perseverance, and determination in overcoming the challenges associated with this disorder.
Second page now, therefore.
Yeah, well, we haven't voted, but the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Clinton acknowledges May 14th, 2026 as Apraxia Awareness Day in the Charter Township of Clinton in the state of Michigan, and encourages all citizens to work within their community to create awareness and understanding of childhood apraxia of speech and to support those affected by this disorder.
Thank you, Ms. Meltzer. I'd like to call to the podium Jacqueline Berger. Jacqueline is the person who brought this to my attention, and I wanted to make sure that we had a real person who could come and speak to this issue for a brief presentation and why she reached out to the board on this issue. So, Jacqueline, we'll turn things over to you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Berger, and I am a resident of Clinton Township and the mom of a 5-year-old boy with childhood apraxia of speech. Apraxia of speech is a neurological speech disorder that affects how the brain tells the mouth to move when speaking. Simply put, kids with apraxia know what they want to say, but their brain has trouble sending the right instructions to say the words clearly. What this can look like is a child trying again and again to say something, but it comes out unclear or hard to understand. The effort is there and the child knows what they want to say, but the words don't come out the way they're meant to. For my son, communication doesn't come naturally. It takes effort and a lot of practice. Before therapy, we couldn't understand almost everything he was trying to say. It was that severe. We relied on his communication device and baby sign language to help bridge that gap. And that's what makes awareness so important. I recently spoke with a speech language pathologist who shared that during her entire education, apraxia of speech was barely covered. She was even told she might go her whole career without seeing a single case. But that's not the reality, as about 1 in 1,000 children are diagnosed with apraxia of speech, and many more are likely underdiagnosed, in part due to a lack of awareness and education. But children with apraxia are here. They are in our communities, our schools, and our homes, and without awareness, they can be misunderstood, overlooked, or delayed in getting the specialized therapy they need. And with the right support, children with apraxia can make meaningful progress and find their voice, but that starts with people knowing what this is. Organizations like Apraxia Kids work to support families through education, community, and research, all centered around one simple idea, that every child deserves a voice. And that's why this proclamation matters. It brings visibility to something that is often invisible. It helps people recognize the signs earlier, respond with understanding, and support children like my son in a way that makes a difference, because these children have something to say, and they deserve the chance to be understood. I truly appreciate the board's consideration in recognizing Apraxia Awareness Day. Thank you all for your time.
Great. I want to thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for speaking out on this issue. And best of luck to your son and your whole family as you work to get through this condition and get to a point where everyone can communicate well.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Trustee Matuzek.
I just wanted to let you know, before you walk away, that
Yes.
one of the young boys, when I first moved into my neighborhood, had apraxia. I'd never heard of it before. It took a long time and a lot of work, but now he is a successful paramedic and firefighter. Unfortunately, in the city of Warren, I couldn't convince him to come to Clinton Township. But
My son's a
but
firefighter.
he is a successful young man with a career that requires a serious amount of communication, and he overcame his apraxia and manages it and is quite successful. So
Thank you. Thank you
Keep
so
working
much
at it.
for sharing that. I appreciate that. And yeah, my son, he's 5, but he works so hard and he puts a lot of work in. Just the other day, he was able to really communicate thank you to me. He said, "Thank you, Mama. Mama, help me. Mama, thank you." And
That's great.
It's like, it took a lot of, planning those motor, the mouth movements, but he's doing good. But it truly is something that not a lot of people hear about, but it's very much something that many children are dealing with. And that's why I so appreciate you all, taking the time. So thank you again.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
So motion by Treasurer Aiello, supported
Hide behind these.
by
I don't care.
Clerk Meltzer and Trustee Wade.
Yeah, I wanted to catch you before you sat down. The therapy that your son needs, is that provided through the schools, or do you have to go like to a one-on-one therapist? How does that work?
So my son, he does have some limited therapy through the school, but it's about 15-minute sessions weekly in a group setting. So he does need that specialized therapy. Outside of that, we have therapy for his speech 4 times a week, and there is more specific therapy methods that they utilize with children who have apraxia versus, some other speech disorders, because the apraxia, it's really about how you place your tongue in your mouth, like how you hold it when you make different sounds, the way you open your mouth, close your mouth. So, yeah, there's a little bit through the school, but it really, has to be supplemented outside of that. At this
Is that through MISD? Is that where you're getting at?
So he is in early childhood special education now. He'll be going into kindergarten next year, so that is through the Chippewa Valley. He attends Clinton Valley, so that's where he is having that currently. But prior to that, he was in the early on through the MISD as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the item? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you again for being here. Item number 3, request approval for temporary structure for Juan Miguel's annual Cinco de Mayo party.
I would like to introduce myself as Mr. Kevin Abdallah, and I am the owner of Juan Miguel's Clinton Township Restaurant, LLC in Clinton Township. We are requesting to be placed on the board meeting agenda to seek a temporary tent approval in the Chippewa Valley Shopping Center to host our 13th annual Cinco de Mayo party on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. We have already begun the preparation and necessary steps with the State of Michigan Liquor Control Commission to be able to serve alcohol on the premises in the tent where the party will be taking place. My contact information is listed above if there are any questions or concerns. Sincerely, Kevin Abdallah.
And Paul, it's my guess you're here on behalf of
Yes,
Kevin and
exactly.
the restaurant, and we appreciate the annual celebration
Thank you.
that you have. We understand that there have been no issues with it in the past, and that everything is in order through the building department.
Perfect.
But this is your time, promote the event.
All right, so obviously, I think it's our 14th or 15th celebration. We do the tent in front. It's really kind of brings the city together. We get people from all over. We have not had really any issues at all. Obviously requesting to have the tent, but also to do able to do cash outside. Beyond that, I think if anybody has any questions, I'm here for you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the request as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay. And in terms of the cash outside, the township used to have an ordinance that didn't allow that, but we made an exemption within that ordinance to allow for that for brick and mortar businesses. So people who have businesses that are invested in our community, that operate standing businesses, we allow now for that to take place.
Excellent, thank you.
What time do you expect the celebration to go to?
So generally, we start at 4 and we're done at 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
But people are still welcome to come in for lunch. There's still a lot going on, carry-outs. If the city hall needs catering, we're ready to do that for you too.
Great.
So.
Okay. We have a motion and support. Any further discussion?
I'd just like
Trustee
to
Wade?
mention, I went there a couple times to the tent, and it's a rather good time. So I would suggest if anybody's got some free time, stop by and you'll see your neighbors and have a good day.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Treasurer Ayala.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 4, request approval for a tent
Congratulations. You're
sale.
all set. We look forward to it. Dear Ms. Meltzer, our dealership would
Dorian
like to
Ford,
hold...
excuse me.
I'm sorry?
I didn't finish the description.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm
That's
so
all
sorry.
right.
Go ahead.
That's all right. Hey, we're keeping a good pace tonight.
Okay. Our dealership would like to hold a tent sale on May 23rd to July 7th, 2026. We would plan on placing 2 frame tents 20 feet by 40 feet with no panels or sidewalls on our lot/property in front of the used car building behind our pre-owned vehicles pylon signs. Could you please have our request reviewed and approved by the Charter Township of Clinton Board of Trustees at the next available meeting? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call directly. Sincerely, Carolyn Dorian, President.
Okay.
Again, there's never any issues here, and this is what they do, so I'll make a motion to approve as requested.
I'll second that.
Good. Subject to final approval of the building department. right?
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
Trustee Matuzak.
No, I'm just,
I thought
hanging
the
out.
hand up there
Sorry.
was asked to be recognized.
my hand down.
Okay.
I have nothing to say about this. It's a fine event, and I got it.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Treasurer Ayala.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 5, request approval of special event alcohol use policy.
Dear members of the board, I am writing to respectfully request a review and approval of 2 items intended to support safe, well-managed, and community-focused special events within the township. Number 1, a special event alcohol use policy, and 2, a nonprofit beverage vendor application. The proposed special event alcohol use policy outlines procedures to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations, promote public safety, and define roles and responsibilities for staff, vendors, and partner organizations. In conjunction with this policy, the nonprofit beverage vendor application has been developed to create a transparent and equitable process for selecting qualified nonprofit organizations to manage alcohol service areas such as beer tents. This process emphasizes fairness, accountability, and community benefit, while also ensuring that selected vendors are capable of meeting operational, licensing, and safety requirements. Together, these documents provide a structured framework that will promote responsible alcohol service and consumption, ensure compliance with state and local regulations, support nonprofit engagement and fundraising opportunities, enhance the overall organization and success of township events. Thank you for your time and consideration of these materials. I would be happy to answer any questions or provide additional information as needed. Respectfully submitted, Tammy Lekovich, Director of Senior and Family Restaurant, or Recreation. Restaurant is what I was thinking of, for alcohol.
You were a restaurant.
Director of Senior and Family Recreation.
Way to diversify.
We're still getting used to saying that. New department combined of the seniors and the recreation department. Board members, as you might recall, last board meeting, we had an ordinance to approve ordinances. We have a 2-step process. First meeting is introduction and publish. And then the second meeting is the approval. As discussed at the last meeting, we can't just approve the ordinance without the policy, and we appreciate the work of our director, as well as the Budget Ways and Means Committee that, put pen to paper or computer, fingers to the keyboard, and got to work in creating a policy, bringing it to Budget Ways and Means to be able to present it here tonight. So, Ms. Lekovich, anything to add?
I would say the goal of what we wrote with the policy was to create the framework. Most of the regulations and stuff come from the state. Everything that we're doing internally is really just to set up the framework to make sure the right people are involved in the right decisions, right? Because this is going to involve my department may be putting an event on, but it involves Department of Public Services doing setup and making sure that those vendors know what they're doing, police and fire, potentially building department. It involves a lot of pieces, so we wanted to make sure that the accountability was laid out so everyone is going to the right spots along the way.
Great. Are there questions from the board? Trustee Kress.
A couple questions about cost. We're going to be screening vendors, so to speak, see who could put it on?
Yes.
Is that the intent?
Yeah, so that's the second attachment in there was the beverage vendor application. We kind of looked around to see what other processes, communities that already do this use. There's not many. A lot of them just have specific organizations that they work with. But we did find a few systems, and that's what we based our application off of. It gives them a chance to explain who they are, what they're involved in, which might take into account, we discussed if we're having something at the Festival of the Senses Art Fair, maybe there's an organization like the Anton Art Center that would want to be involved, and that's related to what we're already doing. Or it might come down to the later end where they talk about what is the give back to the community, which may look like profit sharing with the township, or it may look like other things they want to invest in within community organizations within Clinton Township.
Okay.
So-
Is the intent currently that the not-for-profit's going to cover the cost of insurance, security, and/or police overtime?
Yes. So, and again, that'll all depend because I won't have a say in what the police overtime looks like. That's going to rely on their department. But that application is laid out to make sure that they are prepared to incur all costs involved in it. So we're not taking on the expense of running the beer tent. So it'll include things like even the tent rental fees, the application to the state, and everything like that. We want to make sure that they're prepared to take that on. And then any profit sharing would be from net proceeds after that.
Okay, and you said beer tent, but isn't part of the intent wine?
Potentially, it would honestly, with the way that we're setting it up, it would depend on what they are prepared to serve, and that would be part of the application process as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Further discussion from the board? Trustee Matusek.
I just want to thank Tammy. A lot of work went into this. I think it's a good idea. I think you have covered all the bases here in terms of security. I mean, obviously, the township is still picking up the regular costs associated with Festival of the Senses, and we mitigate that by some sponsorships and booth fees and that sort of stuff. So this really just focuses on the beer, wine
Yes.
part
'cause-
of that, in terms of what we're asking the organization to cover.
Yes, because we wanted this to be transferable. Obviously, the Festival of the Senses is what kind of spurred this, but we want it to
Right.
be if there's another event or activity, we want to make sure all costs are covered in that regard, so we're not taking on that burden.
Thank you. Just
Trustee
wanted to
Wade.
clarify that.
Just my thoughts on it. The Festival of the Senses, because that's the one we kind of keep referring to, is basically a daytime event, and one of them being on Sunday. And I don't see the need for us to be peddling alcohol at a daytime event where I think it's more family structured. If there was a band and bingo games and everything, that might change my opinion, but I just think it's a bad idea.
Trustee Matusek.
One of the things that the Parks and Recreation Committee is looking at is maybe moving it from Saturday, Sunday to be a Friday night, Saturday sort of thing. This all came up because we really wanted a refresh on Festival of the Senses, that it's gotten a little stale, attendance is declining, vendors are declining. What can we do to make it a little more oomph, if you will? And so one of the things the committee is working through is, could we change this to a Friday night, all day Saturday, not do Sunday sort of event? Does that bring us more in line with some of the other festivals that are around? So I think the chances of that changing are pretty good. That's what the committee would like to do with it. But the committee hasn't made a final decision, so I can't speak to
Thank
that.
you.
Trustee Kress.
As far as location, logistics, whatever, will it be in a close proximity to where the children are and the playground and that sort of thing?
No,
Because
and
if you've ever been, I've been to Armada Fair beer tents and Richmond beer tents, that you don't want them in the same zip code as
Right.
any
Yeah, and that is not our-
any young child. So,
Yes.
I mean, hopefully it won't be.
Yeah, so we've come up with our thoughts on what a layout would be. We would work with the vendor because they are actually in charge of the layout, but they have to get approval from us and Department of Public Services with where it would be. We would still, and again, this is just in regards to the Festival of the Senses, any of this policy, any event that we want to have alcohol, we would have to bring forward each individual event to be approved by the board. But with the Festival of Senses in particular, the goal would be to have that back by the food trucks in a sectioned off area, and then we're keeping the kids' activities. So all the dance groups and everything that come, those will still be up closer by the playground and everything like that on opposite ends of the event.
Okay. And one question for the attorney through the chair. Have we talked to our insurance carrier at all about this?
I don't know that specifically I did, but I think maybe Tammy, you did.
Yeah, we had initial conversations. They were waiting to give us final numbers and things until this passes, because again, it might differ event to event, right?
So it ends up
Ensuring-
being like an umbrella policy for,
Yeah, in the way that we lay it out, it would be the responsibility of a nonprofit to secure that insurance
Okay.
at whatever level our insurance
And at
providers
their expense.
indicate. Yes.
at their
Correct.
expense. Okay.
Yes, correct.
And so if I could clarify, the way these agenda items are structured tonight, we first have the use policy. Next agenda item is the adoption of the ordinance. The ordinance will allow this to be permissible. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It means that for the first time, it will be allowed. Then the actual ordinance actually says that no approval will occur without the township board actually approving that event.
Correct. I'll come back
So
again.
at that time, the board will make a decision. So
Yes.
at this point, we're creating structure. Specifics come when we actually have a vendor, when we actually have somebody proposing to do this during one of the township's events. So just setting that sort of, a baseline, and we'll turn things over to public participation. Mr. Bouchel.
Having been at the Budget Ways and Means and such, it is kind of funny that this went from being for the one event, the census, and now it's a matter of, this could be any place in the township. This, literally anybody could come in and have a reason for a beer tent, a beer and wine tent, whatever it turns out to be, at any of the parks, any of the different events. If there again, we've got a lot of homeowners groups that put on very large parties at a couple of the parks. They might want a beer tent. I think this is opening the door to something you really, I don't think a lot of the residents would want to take on the liability of it, especially because, we've got lots of tents being approved at bars and restaurants that have their own insurance, their own, liability. This just doesn't, the fact that this came off as one event, and very clearly now, this is an open door to year-round special events, whatever, somebody can come up with. And I am sure it's a matter of, to say that this isn't even available until the next vote, which is the next item on the agenda. I think a couple people I heard chuckle in the audience, and I know I did, because it's obvious somebody really wants to be the bartender tonight. Bye.
Mr. Spranger.
Yeah, you guys go have beer tents. What about cannabis tents? You got beer tents? Or marijuana tents up right next to each other? So that's the question. If you go approve this, you can approve marijuana tents. I agree with you, Bruce. You should not have.
Whoa. Ma'am?
Well, I don't think cannabis should be allowed or marijuana because you can't control the smell.
Okay, we're not having a debate in the audience. Public participation is allowable for up to 3 minutes. and it is not a back and forth. It's your opportunity to share your thoughts. We've now heard those thoughts. Any further discussion? Attorney McGrail.
I just want to clarify that the ordinance that is up on the next agenda item and only would it be allowing the consumption of alcohol beverages in any township park or playground when approved by the Board of Trustees for township-sponsored events. So this would not apply to the homeowner situations or other situations that were mentioned.
Appreciate that clarification. Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
We don't have a motion yet, but I'll make one.
Okay.
To receive and file the letter, as well as approve the special event alcohol use policy and nonprofit beverage vendor
Support.
application.
Okay, it's been moved and supported by Clerk Meltzer, supported by Trustee Matuzik. Roll call, please.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Matuzik?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
No.
Trustee Kress?
No.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 6, adoption of ordinance 506, amendment to chapter 1062.26, possession of alcoholic beverages, submitted by the Budget Ways and Means Committee.
This was read into the minutes at the previous meeting, and this is for adoption today.
I make a motion to adopt the amendment to the Code of Ordinances, Title 6, Chapter 1062.26, and whatever else it needs to say.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and supported by Trustee Matuzik, supported by Treasurer Aiello. Any further discussion on the item? Roll call, please.
Trustee Matuzik?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
No.
Trustee Kress?
No.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 7, budget amendment for the Wanderers account from the Senior and Recreation Department.
Dear members of the board, I'm writing to request a budget adjustment for the Seniors Travel Wanderers Program to address unexpectedly high invoices received from one of our travel partners. Although the cost exceeded the budget allocation, the Senior Center has already collected the necessary funds from participants. The issue is that these trips were not anticipated to be as popular as they became, a testament to the strong demand for senior travel among the companies we work with. To ensure accurate financial reporting and maintain the integrity of our program accounting, I respectfully request approval to amend the Wanderers budget to reflect the expense appropriately and increase the expenditure column by $69,200, which will cover the remaining obligation of this budget year for the Wanderers account. Supporting invoices and activity fee reports are included as backup to the requested amended amount. Thank you for your attention and support. Sincerely, Debbie Travis, Assistant Director of Senior Recreation.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Support?
Support.
Supported
But I
by
do have a question.
Trustee Matuzik. And let's turn things over to our director first, Ms. Lekovich.
Yep. So this one was let's get started and learn. This is just cleanup of the accounting. So the way the senior travel works is we work with multiple travel companies and do in-house travel. That one account covers many trips. So this amendment covers 13 trips that have taken place. So some of those trips might be $2,500. The biggest one is $25,000 because it's overnight travel, it's out of state, everything like that. So little bits, you get 1 or 2 extra people on all of those trips and you bring in more money. So the money has all been brought in to cover all of the expenses. This is just to kind of create approval to pay out what we owe the travel companies that coordinated that end.
Okay. All right. And so first I have Trustee Matuzik and then Trustee Kress.
She answered my question.
Okay.
This
Trustee
this
Kress.
is an in and out budget thing. It is just a correction on paper. We already have the money. The expenses are covered.
Correct.
Got it.
Trustee Kress.
I have one question. The December 1st through the 6th, 2025 trip, you got 14 travelers at $1,699 per person and 1 traveler at $2,199. What is that one traveler? What's that all about? Why is one person?
So I would have to get specifics on that because again, this was one that was before I was over there, so I can confirm and get back to you on that. My best guess, knowing travel, is that one person booked a single room where the others were probably in a double room, so the
Okay.
costs differentiate based on what they reserve.
Okay, all right.
That would be my guess, too.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Further discussion? Treasurer Aiello.
I just want to say, I think you're off to a great start. My department loves working with you, and I think we're making some great headway.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Okay, item number 8, we'll need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
On BFM versus Charter Township of Clinton pending litigation. We have a motion and support. Is there discussion on simply the vote to go into closed session?
We will be coming out of
We will
closed
be
session.
coming out of
Okay.
closed session. First discussion from the board? Sir?
My question is, I'm not sure what BMF is, but what would require them going to a closed session to talk about their settlement? What is BMF? And why are they suing the township?
BFM?
BFM, is that it?
And that would be something that we will be disclosing once we get out of closed session.
So the public
This is this is a vote to go into closed session.
Sure enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Chief, we have anybody wishing to speak under public comment? Please. Okay. Okay. Taking them in the order in which they were submitted. Bucky.
No.
Total of 3 minutes, sir. You have the floor. Please address your comments to the chair.
Yeah, my comment is to Bruce. You were the chief when Apraxia, when that went down in 2021. He has the discovery. Page 22 says he violated policies between 22 and 23. So I just want to know, you guys, what's going to go on? You know, especially you. I have pictures of you, authorized only. I can't go past that. I want service. Kim was there seeing it. I got pictures of it. I'll be sending it to Dan because none of you guys talk to me. Not one. I get a text from you, you don't want to talk to me. We, the people out here, are your bosses. And I have goals. My goal is get you fired, you fired, you fired, you got a question, and you fired, and Kim fired. Mike, you never in your office. Never. I stopped by there. Do you answer to us or no? You just blow us off? What? You're an elected official. I'm a grievance of my government. You're elected. I voted for you. You ain't gonna mark my vote anymore. Bruce, you have a master's degree in criminal justice. Over 2,000 hours of FBI training. You should know about our violation of FOIA requests in your department. It's been in there, gave it to him. It's been in there since day one. People has to be held accountable or we get junked. I don't know what to say. I just got one other thing to say is the war and the draft.
Sam Bushell?
Yes, my questions submitted last meeting, which had to do with all the property on Cordelia, which basically I had sent each of the board members, this is through the chairman, sent each of you the fact that that property, 4 of the lots had never been anything. They actually were sold by the township to the owner, but they had never had anything developed on them. The majority of the majority of the buildings was another company that was never into the cement business. And so what my question had been, and it was very simple, very laid out nicely, grandfathered uses, can they be expanded on the same lot? Can they be expanded to other properties without, anything? Or did the board, when you approved this particular property on January the 13th of 2025, so all of this board, this was all this board voted on, Mr. Kress voted no, but thank goodness we had one that looked at it. But it's a matter of, did you actually approve new grandfathered uses? Or is that, there again, you had the planning commission, which there again, Mr. Wade is your representative on the planning commission. They sent in a letter to you saying that it met all the zoning requirements, which obviously it does not, especially the new lots that were never part of the grandfathered uses. But also, the answer to my question should have been, can grandfathered uses be expanded, which according to the state laws, it can't, and it can't be moved to other lots. And so I think you'd have to look at the Joy Boulevard property that you just turned down. They've been used as a storage yard forever. The new owner couldn't use it as a storage yard. What happened to that grandfathered use? He wasn't even putting anything more in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Mike Michalik. Hope I said that name correctly, sir? Mahalik. Okay. All right.
So,
Mr. Mahalik.
I have some grievance against Clinton Township Police Department. The whole system is a little messed up there. Personally, I love Clinton Township Police Department. There's a few bad apples that we need to get rid of, real bad. And I'm gonna start protesting this stuff too. You guys have knocked on the wrong tree when it comes to me. I went there to make a complaint against an officer for illegal detainment. You can't detain somebody in cuffs in the back of a police car without a law being broken or investigation. A bulletproof vest is not illegal unless you are a convicted felon. If a cop does not know this cop put me in handcuffs, put me in the back of the cop car, and turned around and called his sergeant to see if it was against the law. What part of that is the chain of what he's supposed to be doing? Now, I'm really pissed. You got me really mad. And I'm telling you right now, I'm coming for you guys. The old police chief, she would never answer her phone, never call people back, nothing. And I'm tired of this. I go in to make a formal complaint against the officer. The lieutenant, not the lieutenant, the sergeant comes out and says, okay, starts writing it down, whatever. The lieutenant comes out and starts talking about how his officer is not wrong for doing what he did. And he starts talking. I said, well, I'll take you guys to court. Okay, well, then we're not taking your complaint. That's against the law. You cannot not take someone's complaint. I plan on suing the township of Clinton Township for this because you guys have violated 5 of my rights. And I won't stand by and hold on to it like that. That's wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of police officers on the Clinton Township Police Department that are good officers. They're very, very good officers. But you guys got some bad apples, like a lieutenant, and some officers that you need to get rid of. Because on Friday and Saturday night, they out there acting like they the gang unit for Detroit. And I'm not having this no more. I'm coming full force. This is wrong. Nobody should be illegally detained for something. If you don't know if it's against the law, why are you cuffing somebody? I'm a law-abiding citizen. And when the cop pulled me over, I told him I do security on the side. That's why I got a bulletproof vest. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't even have to explain why I have a bulletproof vest. I'm not a convicted felon.
15 seconds, sir.
I'm coming for you guys. Have a great day.
Okay. Captain, any further? Public participation? Okay, that concludes public participation. And we have the motion to go into closed session. So we will proceed to that agenda item. Meeting of the Township Board back to order. Item number 8. We'll recognize Ms. McGrail for a motion.
I'm seeking a motion to approve the consent judgment as presented in closed session and to authorize its execution.
I'll make that motion and approve as stated.
Second that.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any discussion from the board? Public?
There again, I'm not sure what company this is, and also the consent judgment, is this a matter of the township or insurance company paying out, and what are they going to be paying out? Or are they going to be paying us? I think the public needs to know, are they going to get, are we getting paid, or are they getting paid? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buchel. Ms. McGrail, in response to the consent judgment, if you could provide what information that you can
They were
regarding the
seeking in
agenda
excess
item.
of $25,000 against the Township of Clinton, and we've reached a resolution where we're paying nothing.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee Kress? I'm sorry, Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes, motion passes.
Okay. Seeing no further agenda items before the board, a motion to adjourn is in order.
I'll make that motion and adjourn.
I'll support it.
Moved by Treasurer Aiello, supported by Trustee King. Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes,
Clerk Meltzer, yes, motion passes.
we're adjourned.